Live from our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Kim Miller begins now.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. Tasmania's population and economic growth are lagging behind nearly every other state and territory, according to a new report. Experts say the snap state election has also rattled business confidence as the major parties continue to trade blows over forming the next government.
A quarterly report card on Tasmania's economy is in, scoring the state 5th place with room for improvement, according to new CommSec data.
There has been some weakness or at least a slowdown in public spending or demand in the lead up to the Tasmanian election, and that's been a bit of a handbrake on the economy.
Their State of the State report finding the Apple Isle as the weakest performer on annual economic activity this quarter, ranking second last, while population growth year on year lags the rest of the nation at a near decade low.
One of the challenges Tasmania's always had is the net outflow to other states and territories, and particularly for young people.
A persistent problem Tasmania's peak business group wants solved.
Things like skilled migration will be critical to do that, as well as housing.
This is critical bread and butter stuff that we need to get right in the state.
As business confidence takes a hit from the snap election.
People are worried to see what will happen from this election. It takes people's minds away from business, their minds away from the day-to-day.
While losing top spot, investment in infrastructure remains strong in second place, and the state's unemployment is at historic lows, boasting the top jobs market.
People want to come and live here and do business here, and we certainly encourage that, and that's why we want to be aspirational with things like the stadium.
With talks set to continue between the major parties and crossbenchers on who will form the next government, the potshots between the Liberals and Labor don't appear to be letting up anytime soon.
The Liberals have taken Tasmanians to 3 early elections in a row. If they keep operating in the same way, we're going to keep getting the same results.
Is he going to mislead the people of Tasmania and do a deal with the Greens?
We need the next government, whatever colour that may be, to address those 3 key issues. Fix the budget, fix planning.
Anthony Dodd, 7 Tasmania News.
The Liberals are set to brief Labor, the Greens and crossbenchers on Marinus Link tomorrow, amid growing pressure to do so just days before a final investment decision is due on the project. Labor also wants the business case for the $5.5 billion undersea cable to be released after the Liberals promised they would.
I expect proper consultation, and we will not tolerate a Liberal government that simply makes phone calls and pays lip service to their own agreements.
The Liberals, who are in caretaker mode, say the business case will be released soon after the briefings. Flood warnings for Fingal and Avoca have been downgraded following the weekend's deluge, which saw parts of the state battered by a low pressure system bringing heavy rain. Meanwhile, water levels at Launceston's Cataract Gorge remain high, floodwaters forcing the closure of the causeway, while council workers have closed part of the Cataract Walk to conduct repairs. One municipality is spending a lot more on pokies than any other region in Tasmania. It sounded alarm bells for anti-gambling groups who see the impact of addiction, and they're calling for the introduction of mandatory cashless gaming cards to be reconsidered.
Glenorchy's won the jackpot when it comes to spending big at the pokies, a label condemned by its mayor.
This is not a good statistic to have in a city or anywhere in Tasmania for that matter.
The city ranked highest in Tasmania when it comes to money spent on poker machines, according to Treasury data. Residents spending nearly $10 million over the first 6 months of this year. But other parts of the state haven't fared well either. Across Launceston, nearly $8.5 million went through pokie machines, followed by other big spends in Devonport, Clarence and the Central Coast.
What is the cost of not dealing with this issue?
While calls for gambling harm minimisation measures aren't new, advocacy groups are pushing for a renewed focus on how it's dealt with.
Over 10 years ago, the Productivity Commission said that the best way to address this, that would also be economically rational, would be to have a card that allows people to control their spending.
A policy to introduce a cashless gaming card was put on hold by the state government.
Always going to be supportive of putting protections in place to make sure that we help people make the right decisions. But we want to live in a state where people are actually able to choose.
Since 2021, we've been calling for facial recognition technology to come into Tasmania.
But those calls continue to be heavily criticised by those who see the first-hand impact of a gambling addiction.
Families that are unable to pay their utility bills, they're struggling to meet those school expenses.
Ruby Cairns, 7 Tasmania News.
One of Australia's oldest sports is this week marking a major milestone. Bowls Australia celebrating 180 years since the first game took place in Sandy Bay, sparking a national tradition that's now played by millions across the country.
It's a sport steeped in tradition.
1, 2, 3.
180 years ago, the very first game of bowls was played in Australia, and it all began here in Hobart.
It was a challenge match, essentially, between a Mr Liscombe and a Mr Burgess. We know it was 25 ends, which started the tradition of 25-end game in Australia.
That game laid the foundation for the Sandy Bay Bowls Club, proudly recognised as Australia's first.
1907. We were able to found this club, so it has a long history, and there are people in our club that aren't even aware of that.
And while it's rich in heritage, the sport is anything but stuck in the past.
It's a sport for all Australians, regardless of age, gender or skill.
There's not many sports that you hear stories of 3 and 4 generations from the same family playing in the same team, and we hear that in bowls.
Nationally, more than 2 million Australians hit the greens each year, with the rise of social formats like barefoot bowls drawing in a whole new crowd.
We're trying to develop more interesting formats of the sport to even attract more people going forward.
Helping to shatter the stereotype that bowls is only for retirees.
The average age of our Jackaroos team has been younger than the average age of the Australian men's cricket team for quite a few years now.
In November, Tasmania will host the Nationals in Devonport and Burnie as the campaign ramps up to secure a spot in Brisbane's 2032 Olympic and Paralympic Games.
To be able to take that next step up and potentially be an Olympic or Paralympic sport would be phenomenal for the sport, for the exposure of the sport and for how people perceive us.
Lily Thompson, 7 Tasmania News.
In the wake of popular productions on West End and Broadway, Newstead College students are putting their spin on the award-winning musical Six. The full-length teen adaptation of the play tells the story of King Henry VIII's 6 wives as they seek to reclaim their identities.
We've never really heard the perspective from the Queens before, so it's really interesting being able to hear what they went through before their tragic end. It's pop stars that are totally my vibe in terms of a 90s baby and also real life history, so we're learning and having a great time.
The production opens on Wednesday, running until Saturday. A Tasmanian health clinic is hoping to end the stigma surrounding a common virus. As many as 1 in 3 people with hepatitis don't realise they have it, or that in many cases it can be treated with a simple pill.
Bringing treatment to those who don't know they need it. World Hepatitis Day, marking the perfect occasion to get tested.
About 50% of people with the virus don't know, so it's really important that we screen. There is a lot of stigma around bloodborne viruses in general.
While Tasmania has the highest rate of diagnosis in the country, treatments are readily available, often involving simply taking a tablet, a far cry from the remedies of the past.
The direct-acting antiretroviral drugs weren't accessible, so the treatment was a lot harder and a lot harsher.
Both hepatitis B and C feature a slew of symptoms, including jaundice, nausea, and shifts in mood, but they often progress slowly, leading many to blame their condition on other factors.
There are quite often not a lot of symptoms with hepatitis B or C until quite late on in progression.
While hepatitis C can be cured in as little as 8 weeks, many cases continue to go undocumented, especially for those who have contracted it through intravenous drug use. The initiative partnering with the Tasmanian Users Health and Support League, ensuring that if someone is going to use drugs, it's done as safely as possible.
People who inject drugs want to use sterile injecting equipment.
And offering support for those living with the virus.
I just want to be able to give these people options and make it
normal, that you can go and see these beautiful people that are going to help and have no judgment.
Aaron Smith, 7 Tasmania News.
If you're in the market for a tree change with a dash of history, now's your chance. A prestigious manor house has hit the market in the state's north, but with interest coming from international buyers, you might want to get in quick.
A piece of Tasmanian history nestled in the heart of Deloraine. Arkuna Manor is looking for a new custodian.
It's sort of a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to snap up something like this.
Hidden at the end of a long, winding driveway, you could blink and miss it.
As a local, lots of people know about the property but don't know its full story.
Built in 1892 for a local doctor, the house itself tells a love story between its first owners.
The rose and the thistle that you'll see carved throughout the home on the exterior of the house pay tribute to Dr. Cole and his wife. It's quite unique.
It's been a private home, a maternity hospital, and currently offers luxury accommodation.
It is a large property. We've got 8 bedrooms, 6 bathrooms. It's set on just over 3 acres.
Meaning the flowing waters below, Arkuna takes its name for its position over the Meander River. Its gardens offering surprises around every corner.
Under the big tree there's a little rope swing and fairy gardens. There's sort of like little secret areas everywhere.
But those keen to be Lord or Lady of the Manor might want to get in quick.
We've had a lot of interest, even stretched throughout Australia, but also to the UK and America as well.
If you're worried about how you'd fill a property of this size, never fear. The owner is selling it fully furnished, including this original billiards table, which is one of only 6 in the country.
It all comes with the property, everything you see.
To help get your escape to the country started in style. Annie Green, 7 Tasmania News.
Now squarely at the end of the business end of the footy season, finals is now front of mind, and clubs like Wynyard are not only fighting to stay in the hunt, but for a favourable berth heading into postseason.
Yeah, top 3, we get the second chance, and that's obviously what we're aiming for.
Hopefully trying to get a home final as well, as we always play our best footy at North Hobart.
The North women are second on the ladder on percentage. Max Giuliani can add another gold medal to his blossoming collection with a stellar performance in the 4x100 metre freestyle at the World Swimming Championships. The Hobart Prak staging a comeback on the third leg to claw back ground from the Americans in Singapore before handing over to King Kyle Chalmers to finish the job.
The King reigns supreme, it's another gold! What a way to end night 1!
That completed an Aussie double after a New Look women's team upset the Americans too. Back from their South American getaway, the Hurricanes have brought home more than souvenirs from Guyana, a money can't buy education after rubbing shoulders with some of the world's best of the Global Super League.
A lot of the teams have got big internationals playing for them and guys who played 200, 300, 400 T20 games, and to watch how they operate on those wickets was something really good, and hopefully the players have learnt a lot from that sort of thing as well.
Despite performing well, Mac Wright knows he's going to have to fight for a regular spot in the Canes 11.
I'm not one that's going to stand there and just swing from the hip and try and hit bombs. I think I'm going to try and be a busier player and keep the whole ground open. So I think I've really got to lean on that, and that can be my way into the team.
There's still 5 months to go until they open their Big Bash season at Ninja Stadium against the Thunder. Finally, our 2 Tasmanian rowers are heading home from the Under-23 World Championships in Poland, having both made finals. Sam Mounted's quad scull coming second in the men's B final. Olivia Yates' crew managed 6th overall after qualifying for the women's A final. Not a bad effort against the world's best, Kim.
Great experience too. Thank you, Nick. Well, Peter Murphy will join us after the break with the weather forecast.
Good evening. 15 in Hobart and Launceston today. Well, they must have moved the weather station from that cold location at Devonport Airport. That was our warmest, 17 degrees, and Burnie 14. Temperatures sat between 2 and 3 above average. St Helens 16, Friendly Beaches 15, Flinders Island, Low Head and Bushy Park 14, King Island and Grove 13, Strawn a high of 12. A low to our southwest was feeding cloud over the west and south of the state today, bringing a few showers, more scattered cloud over the northeast. A fair whack of southeastern Australia has the cloud from that low as well. A frontal cloud band spotted over the WA South Australia border. Some afternoon convective cloud over the far north and through central Australia. Tomorrow, that front to the west moves to be not that far to the west of us at all. A low pressure system extends a trough through central Australia. Cool southwesterly winds tomorrow, generally at 15 to 25 knots, but reaching 35 knots over the east in the morning. Strong wind warning for all Tasmanian coastal waters, with the exception of the central west coast. Wouldn't see that very often. And we have a minor flood warning for the South Esk River as a peak approaches Perth tomorrow. Hobart, a top of 12, a possible shower. Winds easing from Adventure Bay, the chance of a shower 11 degrees and 7 the high for Tarraleah. Launceston 13 and partly cloudy, Devonport the same, Bridport the same, and I think Burnie the same too, 13 and partly cloudy, a shower or two for Strawn and a possible shower for Marrawar. St Helens tomorrow, a mostly sunny 13 the top also for Swansea and Whitemark on Flinders Island. On Wednesday, fine after a frost in the north, a few light showers over the south and east, falling as snow above 800 metres. Morning frost and fog on Thursday, fine apart from just a light isolated shower over the south, and on Friday a light shower over the west and possibly King Island. A fine day with light winds for most of the state though. Partly cloudy in Perth, a few showers and 13 on the way for Adelaide and Melbourne. Partly cloudy in Sydney and a sunny 22 in Brisbane. A few light showers over Hobart, it's 12 at the moment, 9 in Launceston and Devonport. That's all from the Weather Department, Kim.
A big department of one. And that wraps up your local news for tonight. Thanks for joining us. Good night, everyone.